Right, we're on, my friend.
Oh, hello, my friend, and what a week. It's been a week
right.
already, right?
I've got to start off straight away saying, right, I've had an emotional few days, and you know what an emotional motherfucker I am.
You can be.
I can.
But that's not a bad thing. I'm gonna stick up for you.
It's not a bad thing, but
I like the fact that you get really emotional.
But I get emotional about very silly things, whether it's you thanking us at the end of a live show, which I did on our very first.
Oh yeah, that was
one, which I got very silly with. But I don't know whether it's older age, but you tend to get a little bit more emotional about things. But I've had an emotional weekend. But a lot of it has been brought on by myself. Went to a family wedding on Saturday, and although it was a beautiful service, it was lovely. It was a bit of a quirky wedding. It wasn't a traditional.
It wasn't your standard church wedding.
No. It was at a farm, so it was all very.
Oh, was there animals?
No,
only the people around the table.
Only on the dance floor.
Oh.
But I did notice that at times I was looking down the line at like my family, and they're all like crying and stuff, and I didn't cry. It was beautiful, and then, my dad gave the bride away along with someone else as well. So that was sort of
did
nice.
He make a speech?
He did make a speech, and he was the belle of the ball. He was.
Was it a good speech?
Yeah, everybody always loves when he's chatting away and stuff. So there was that. I had my first sort of proper drink for a long time.
You had a drinking session, did you?
I did. Well, in my eyes, it was a drinking session. I had like 4 or 5 bottles of Corona and a gin and tonic, which is more than I've had to drink probably in the last 10 years.
You and me both, probably.
So, what, I didn't see you there?
No, but if I'd have had that much, that would have been more than I've had. Even though I went to London and had cocktails, that would still been more than I would have drunk. I'd have been twatted.
Yeah, but I wasn't drunk. That was the thing. I wasn't even merry. I wasn't tipsy. But I noticed, and this will link on to where I am now, my lips were really dry.
Oh.
So I'm really dry. Never really had a chance to dance because the music that they played wasn't really what I like. Wasn't like good old wedding music.
You couldn't have a little, what was it, the dance around the handbag dance.
So there was none of that. So that was that day. Then on Sunday, I felt like shit. I felt like shit all day.
So unconsciously you were hungover, maybe?
I mean, yeah. I mean, that's what I could have put it down. I was thinking maybe it was food poisoning, but no one else had felt bad with the food. And
was the food good?
It was okay. Yeah, it was nice. Yeah. It was. I didn't overeat or anything, which I am prone to do. But I knew that. And then a few of the kids, because the kids did drink a lot, and they were being party animals, and they were loving it. And fair play to them. You know,
yeah, they're of that age.
That's what they can go and do. So I said, "Oh well, let's get a McDonald's, for dinner and stuff, so that we can just like chill out." And I bought my McDonald's. I couldn't eat it. I couldn't face it. I thought, no, I can't do it. Went and had a bath, and before I had a bath, I puked. Felt a little bit better, but felt really tired. And even so, on Monday, so we did nothing.
Yeah.
And all we ended up doing was binge TV.
Right.
So I think, like I said, we did a recording of the WTF yesterday.
Yeah.
And I finished watching Fleabag.
Which I'm watching at the moment.
Which, again, is an emotional roller coaster. It's funny in places. It's really sad in places. There's places that make you angry and you want to shake certain people and you want to slap certain people across the face. Then I watched the whole series of the Daisy Haggard's Back to Life, which, again, is the same kind of thing. It's like, 1 minute it's funny.
How did you get to know about this?
Mainly on Twitter.
I've never even seen it advertised.
A lot of people are going on about how great it is, and a lot of the people that we follow and that follow us on Twitter have been talking about it and saying how great it is. So it was something that me and our missus, we just sat on the sofa, 6 23-minute episodes, really easy, just go fire straight through them. And again, so and for some reason after that, I watched the first episode of Derek, which is funny, the Ricky Gervais thing, but emotional as fuck.
Yeah.
And I even tweeted about it. I said, I've just done Fleabag and just done Back to Life, and now I'm watching Derek. What am I doing to myself? It was mental. So we had that, and then of course it was the emotion of going through Monday night with now. I'm a Liverpool fan, football-wise, so this season has been an amazing season.
It's been a great season, and I will put my hands up and say I'm a Tottenham fan.
So
not so good a season,
but you've been going through some highs and lows as well. So Monday night, because we're 2 games away as we're recording this, we're 2 games away from,
1 game now.
We're 1 game away from the end of the season. But Man City, but on Monday, they were 2 games.
Yeah.
And against Leicester, they score in like the 70th minute, was it?
It was something like that, yeah.
With this screamer from their captain, Vincent Kompany, from 30 yards, where he's never had a shot from outside the box that has ever gone in. So I felt like that was like, oh my God. And I really, for the first time this season, all the times when we've won and then they've won, and it's been like 2 boxes.
It's been more changes at the top this season than any other season before.
It's literally like the end of Rocky, where one person is punching, then the other person is punching, and both are still standing. But I went to bed in a mood on Monday. I went to work in a mood on Tuesday. And then I woke up. Was it Tuesday? No, yeah, I went to bed Tuesday. Obviously very happy because it was a miracle happened last night.
Well, we were recording this, weren't we? And when I left, it was half-time and it was 1-0.
Yeah, so this is the Champions League semi-final, Liverpool, second leg versus Barcelona. And we were 3-0 down from the first leg.
Which is a big
And the amount of people that have said to me, they could do it. And I am the ultimate pessimist when it comes, especially comes to Liverpool. Don't be stupid. There's no, the season's over as far as I'm concerned now. That's it. Everything's finished. Everything's done. We've done really well in the league. Got the most points that any team that has never won the league has got. We've lost 1 game this season. Got to the semi-finals of the European Cup. That's great. I think we've lost to the team that's going to win it. And then they only went and fucking won 4-0.
Unreal, wasn't it?
I saw the second half and I could not believe, apart from the fact that BT Sport, your app is shit. I'm sorry, it is shit. It just keeps stopping. It keeps, like the little fucking windmill of death keeps coming up.
Buffering.
Keeps telling me that I've not got an internet signal, where I go on every other website. I go onto Sky Go. Sky, just get the fucking Champions League back, please. It makes it so much easier for everybody.
Well, you see, last night, just to say, because it was a miraculous sort of recovery, wasn't it, from Liverpool? I left here, had to wait to pick my son up, picked him up from work. I had to stop at the shop and just get some milk, etc. Got home. By the time I got home, the score was already like 3-0. I was like, holy shit.
It was absolutely crazy. But then it gets to like, they scored 79th minute, I think it was, for the 4-0. An amazing piece of play by Terence Trent D'Arby and Divock Origi. Just absolute class. And I've seen so many like reaction videos today and stuff, and it was stuff. Even now, his sight at the corner was just amazing. It's just amazing. And I know, as I'm a Liverpool fan, I'm going to say that there's no place that just Anfield has this thing about like international midweek European nights. There's something about Anfield that it is just magic. But even at 1-0, I thought, nah, it's never gonna happen. Anyway, to hear the crowd singing "You'll Never Walk Alone," all that stuff, very emotional. So it's sort of like I was spent. I was absolutely spent. It came to waking up this morning, and I don't know whether it's the whole toll of that. And I spoke to my trainer, Matt. Hello, Matt, this morning. But I woke up. Now I suffer from what are they called on your lips when you get not ulcers? They're
cold sores.
Cold sores. I woke up this morning with rows of cold sores on both lips.
Oh, they do look sore.
Yeah, on the top lip. Now, normally I get 1 or maybe 2, or you get a little cluster. I've never had this before.
And then is it sore now?
Yeah.
Looks sore.
It's got to the point, it goes to a point where it becomes uncomfortable. Then it comes to a point where it's sore.
Yeah.
Then it comes to a point where you don't feel it, and then they start crusting up, and then they fall off, and then that's it. But it's like the inside of your lips start getting itchy and stuff, and it's just. But I've never had it where it is literally the whole of both lips.
No.
But I didn't know. Yeah. But I don't know now whether that's that was preempted by my lips going dry on Saturday, because I've never had that before, where I was constantly licking my lips because for some reason the lips were going dry. But again, I spoke to my trainer this morning and said, look, is it something like alcohol poisoning or something? He said, it'll be because you've drunk. He said, you haven't drunk for so long. And I'm not saying that I was a big drinker, but it's not like I had to stop because, you know, I was an alcoholic. I've never been a massive drinker. If I drank, it was because I was going out with the lads and we were going out to get drunk. So I wasn't doing it every week. Never been a big drinker. But
we're very similar in that vein, because I'm not a big drinker.
No, and even now, I might have the occasional bottle of Budweiser at Christmas, and that's it. I won't drink. If we go out to a pub, I'll have a soft drink.
Well, we quite often put booze when we do our shows backstage, and we'll only ever have a bottle each.
Well,
Everything else
that's it.
Yeah.
You know, and I'm famous for when we go to festivals, if we're working, where I'll have a couple of pints of cider, and that's it.
Yeah.
Because that's normally enough. So it was really weird that with it being a really emotional few days, and I know that I get cold sores when I'm run down, you know, so whether or not it was just a culmination of all of that and it's just hit, you know, boom, and it's all just
because it's so sound awful, but it's a herpes virus, isn't it? Cold sores,
and it's all, and once
it's going to always be
it's
there.
Always there, yeah. But I've never had it to this extent, and I won't do a close up of it because it's not pretty to look at.
It doesn't look horrible. It just looks sore.
But I woke up this morning and I felt like I'd had Botox in both. I said to my missus, I said, "Do my lips look really big?" I said, because
a bit like Alan Partridge.
that was what. Yeah, that was the first, when I woke up this morning and was like biting my lips. I thought, "Oh my god, I'm going to look like Alan Partridge from this time when he took the oysters, wasn't it?"
Yeah, that's right.
And then I thought, "Well, who the hell is that?"
Yeah.
And I thought, "Oh my god, I don't want to look in the mirror because I'm going to have it'll be like I've got these like." Kim Kardashian lips.
Oh, people pay money for that.
But the trouble is also you can't do anything but lick your lips.
Yeah, I was going to say, I've noticed the whole time you chat, you keep giving it a lick.
I know.
But then I know what that's like. It's like when you cut the inside of your mouth or whatever.
I know.
You always will find it.
It's not. So the thing all around this, I was thinking, well, that's something we can talk about on the show. But have you got like an ongoing medical condition?
Well, I have. I mean, I suffer, as you know, with hay fever, and I suffer really badly with my sinuses, and I've got awful sinus problems that go all the way through, and I've been suffering probably for about 20 years with it. You've heard, I snore. There's nothing they can do at the moment.
I know, it's a pain in the ass to hear that every morning.
But also, I have real trouble some days when the hay fever comes in, or I get a really bad bout of sinusitis, where I'm actually struggling to breathe. I'm literally like, and I'm thinking, shit, I don't like this, and I have to take all sorts of not inhalers, but squirters for my nose and things like that. Well, this year,
squirters for your nose.
Everybody likes a squirter.
Not everybody.
Oh, really?
No.
Why not?
Well, it's messy.
Well, it goes straight up your nose. Everybody likes a squirter.
Why would you want that?
No, I need it. It gives me so much relief. But obviously,
oh, really?
because of the steroids in it and things, you can't take it too often.
Is there steroids in squirting?
Yeah, but not in the same as, like, Butch. I'm doing that on a podcast, you see.
You don't want to be doing that when you're talking about Butch.
Yeah, so that it gives you relief, but you can't take it very often because it can cause damage to your like nasal tract and everything like that. So I have that problem, and also over the last year, I've started eczema and some sort of skin complaint which is ongoing. And that, you talk about scratching, I've had it on my feet, legs, all sorts of places, and it's been painful, it's been uncomfortable, it's given me sleepless nights where I'm just itching. So yeah, I sort of appreciate where you're coming from, and yeah, fucking eczema. It's a bastard. It's a bastard. But thank you, Dad. Apparently it's inherited down. He's got it.
Oh, right.
And he started it late, and it's all part of his. He's got a skin condition, and I've now got it. Leprosy.
Well, that's that's the thing. I would love to know who it was who kissed me when I was a baby.
Yeah.
That had herpes.
Could have been anyone, couldn't it? Could have been anyone.
And that's the thing is, like, little Finn, my grandson, has been here today, and I haven't been able to give him a kiss because I don't want to. Oh, you know, yeah. I don't want to pass it on to him because it's a horrible, horrible thing. It is those things that when it gets to a certain point, like I am at now, if someone said to me, "Look, if I can rip your lips off, to make it go away, would you let me do that? And I would. I'd say yes.
Yeah, I know how you feel.
Would, because you just want to. You can't lick your lips. Like eating, you have to cut your food into very small chunks because you have to like just get it right in your mouth as opposed to
brush it. Yeah.
You can't, and then it gets to the point it will probably get where they'll start cracking, and then that's when it gets painful. Luckily, I'm not singing for a couple of weeks, so.
But yeah, I had my same thing. Is the worst eczema I had was on my feet.
Right.
It really, so much so that I was using the creams and everything. I have to go to the doctors, but my feet got so bad that they split, literally horrible, split open and bleeding. And then that's painful. And if you can imagine, I had that not so extreme, but on the inside of my thigh and other places. So I really do appreciate it.
I love the way you say other places.
Well, I don't want to keep listing my whole body parts, but I'm falling to bits.
As Alan Partridge would say, that's disconcertingly vague.
Yeah, I'm like the guy off of Game of Thrones that was turning into the scales.
Oh, right. Yeah, but I bet you prefer scales to eczema.
I would. But if I can just tell you, the itching that it gives is like itching you've never had before. So they tell you, try not to scratch.
Right.
And they say, so when you go and talk to a doctor and that, your GP, please try not to scratch, but there's going to be a point where you're going to have to scratch. We do realise that, but try not to dig your nails in. But the thing is, when you get to that point, so you could be sat a couple of hours, sort of uncomfortable with this itch that you need to scratch, and hopefully you rub some cream on, and maybe it doesn't. But eventually, you just got to get in there. It's a fucking lovely feeling.
There are times when scratches in certain crevices are really, really nice. Yeah. Almost to the point when you hit that level where it is nice and then it's a little bit painful. Yeah.
Well, that's what I'm suffering with. And they said, it should might ease up in the winter for you a bit with this new course. Well, it didn't. And then they said, well, the summer's here, so try and get out as much as you can in the sun. The sun is brilliant for it. Where's the fucking sun this year?
It is only
May, but last year we were in the process of a heat wave, weren't we?
We were, but that was a little bit later on. So don't worry, you've got plenty of time.
So fingers crossed I can get out in the sun and give it some...
Yeah. What would you have to do then? You have to go out in like skimpy shorts or something?
Well, I mean, I just wear my boxers out in the private garden that I have. The private gardens. No, the private garden. You know, it's pretty secluded.
Right. So. But we will talk as well. Obviously, Tottenham are playing tonight.
Yes, they are. Kick off, well, as we record this, in about an hour's time, isn't it?
8 o'clock, and they're 1-0 down. So it could still be an all-English Champions League final.
What I really hope Tottenham have done is seen what happened last night, watched it, and been inspired by it. And
you've got a lot less of a mountain to climb than we had.
The only thing I will say is Ajax have looked very good this tournament. They're sort of come out of nowhere, haven't they? They've looked very good.
Yeah, but not so good at home.
No.
Not so good at home. And they haven't been ahead. They've always had to come from behind to... saucy. To do. So I had an idea.
Yeah.
If Tottenham get through...
Yeah.
We should do a live reaction video.
What, and watch the show?
Come here and we'll watch the Champions League final.
What will it be? It'll be on BT though, won't it?
Saturday. It'll be on Saturday. No, because last year when Liverpool played, it was on YouTube as well.
Oh, was it?
Yeah, they did like a live stream on YouTube.
Okay, well that'll be all right then. Yeah, we'll do that.
So Saturday the 1st of June.
Yeah.
So it'll be a Saturday night. I think we should do that. Set the camera up and do a live, like me and you.
Oh, that would be fun.
Whoever else wants to come and watch it, I suppose. But yeah, Liverpool, Tottenham.
Oh, that would be funny, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
Well, fingers crossed. I'm hopeful. But then I wrote us off right the way back with Dortmund and we won that. So.
Exactly. And this is... I would hope you went through because I think we would have more chance of beating you than we would have beaten Ajax. Mainly for the fact that I feel like Tottenham are like on their ass.
Well, we're exhausted, aren't we? Because we've got such a depleted squad. Yeah. Football talk, everyone.
No, we can talk about whatever.
No, I'm just saying. Football talk, ladies.
We don't get much chance to talk about football. So.
No, we don't, actually. Yeah, we're depleted. We not making any signings the last season or
hasn't
before.
Helped you at all.
No, we're too thin on the ground.
No.
It's quite nice and reassuring to hear that we've got money to spend this summer everything. Of course, then the papers. This is what fucks me off. Everybody's off to Real Madrid. Have you noticed this?
Yeah.
Everybody's off to Real Madrid.
Of course they are.
Everybody's going to manage Real Madrid.
Yeah.
And for some reason, our manager, because he's now the longest serving manager in the Premier League, get that, he's only like 4 years or whatever it is, he always wants to leave, according to online and on the papers, you know, even though he's just signed a new contract and everything, he's helped develop the stadium and everything like that. They always want him to leave. And then he made a quote last night that if he wins the Champions League, he'll go home.
Yeah, I think that was...
I don't think that's intending that he's leaving the club.
No, I think what he meant was that sort of like... It was sort of like, well, look at what I've done. It's like, can you remember on Soccer AM when that Serge from Kasabian
did that
thing,
amazing kick, yeah.
and he did it, and then just walked down the street with his hands in his hair, grabbed his coat, took his coat off,
that's it,
and then just walked off like, I've done it, that's it. I think that's what he was sort of saying. Yeah. It's like, I've done it, so I can go home now if I want to. If I can do that,
what I read it about.
If I can do that with this Tottenham team, where you've not given me any money, we've been in 2-3 different grounds this season.
Yeah.
Then I can get my coat and drop the mic, and I can go. I think he was doing it more as a joke.
Yeah, that's what I think.
Because to be honest, where can he go?
Well, at the moment,
Real Madrid.
Well, they'll be firing him next season.
I wouldn't be too sure. I mean, you could see that happening at United. You could see that if Solskjaer starts off the first 10 games with 1 win or something.
But let's talk United. I know you hate them, but from a team that was dominant right up to the early 2000s, maybe, probably a bit later on, wasn't it? When did Fergie leave?
Yeah, sort of, mid 2000s.
Yeah, so they were the complete dominant for like a good decade.
Yeah,
they're going through their turmoils. You have to, if you're a Man United fan, it's not the managers. Well, Mourinho, I think
above.
Lost, and the players.
It's above. And I don't like Gary Neville. I don't like him as a pundit. I know that loads of people seem to think that he's great as a pundit. I think he's a rat-faced weasel, or a weasel-faced rat. But that's because I'm a Liverpool fan. Yeah. I'm never going to like.
No, you're never going to not like United, are you? Let's be honest.
No, but I what he said this week after, who did they play? Oh, Huddersfield, and it was 1-1.
1-1, wasn't it?
And he was saying that it's like the people at the top. They're the people that I think Mourinho said that you wanted 2 centre-halves at the start of the season last season, and they didn't back him. So then they should just get rid of Mourinho. If they're not going to back the manager, yeah, then they're not doing. And they've got people that are businessmen doing that job, where it should be football people doing it. And he was saying that they should have the best, because Man United in his eyes are the best team in the world. They should have the best staff there and all this sort of stuff.
They are the richest club in the world, aren't they?
But I agree with that. But it's the Glazers as well, because they're not in it for football. They're in it to make money.
Of course they are.
They're in it to take money out of the club. And I'm not saying. I mean, I'm sure that probably 95% of all chairmen and people that own clubs are doing the same thing. It's
a business now. It's all about the profit.
But that's what it is. Yeah. And with the fact that there is so much money in football, that's what it's all about. It's about making money. It's about getting in the Premier League so you can make as much money as you can. If you go down, get your parachute payments, and then try and get back up again. And it's all about money. That's all it is.
Absolutely.
And that's why you get players that will feign injury. I noticed yesterday, I don't know if you saw it, when Wijnaldum scored the second goal. Was it the second goal or the third goal? I can't remember, but he followed, from the second goal, he followed the ball in because the ball is in the back of the net, and the goalie had grabbed the ball, and he was wrestling the ball off the goalie so they could get started again.
Because they time wasted.
Took the ball off the goalie, and then the goalie started holding his hands to his face like he punched him. If I was the referee, I'd have booked him.
Yeah.
I said, why are you doing that?
Well, it needs to change, doesn't it? Football,
and I hate that stuff.
It's epidemic in football. There's no team that doesn't do it now. They play for the foul. They play for... I've heard various different people in various different terms, but the one that I spoke about to somebody and I liked is the sin bin. I'm not a big rugby fan, but what they do in rugby. So if you are rolling around that pitch injured, you're off.
Yeah.
5 minutes, you're off.
I agree.
and then you can come back out.
I agree. And same with swearing at referees.
Yeah.
I hate that because I've seen it with under 14s and under 15s. There was, I can't remember which team it was when my son was playing, but the opposition's captain had such a bad attitude. So much so that the referee, fair play to him, told the manager, "You need to substitute him because I'm not being talked to like that." And I thought, well done. But he's picking that up by seeing Cristiano Ronaldo or whoever it is mouthing at the referees. You can tell what they're saying, especially in the Premier League. You can tell that they're effing and blinding at the referee because they're all on 200 grand a week and the referee is picking up maybe 500 quid for doing it or whatever it is.
Yeah.
There's no respect there.
But, going back to rugby, those players are twice the size of a referee.
Yeah. And they're calling him sir.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's respect.
It is
because
respect.
they know that if you gob off at the referee, you're out.
Yeah.
There's no two chances.
No. And it is all about prima donnas and
that's the side of the game I don't like.
I've seen Liverpool players do it. I've seen Liverpool players feigning injury.
Everybody does it.
And every footballer, whether it's controversial to say or not, I've said before, is a potential cheat. Every footballer.
I think they're taught it now.
But I think the stakes are so high.
Yeah.
The stakes are so high.
It's just wrong. It makes especially when we're in an age where the talent and the ability and the technique that they now have is amazing.
It is.
It is beautiful to watch, and yet it's marred by these awful looking for a foul, and looking for this injury and trying to stop play and cheating. It's just stop.
It is amazing when you watch football from the 70s or even the 80s. How basic it looks. It
does, but then of course the equipment. So the footballs, they got heavier when it was wet, didn't they? As they rolled around the pitch, they got heavier.
The pitches were shit.
They weren't rolled. They were probably rolled and fought, ready for the day. But
they were all eating steak and chips as their pre-match meal.
They were all having a fag at half time.
Going for a few drinks. It was a completely different culture.
Yeah.
But oh my god. But yeah, so yesterday was last night was amazing. I hope your guys do it.
Well, fingers crossed. I think it's amazing that we've got to the semi-final with what we've had to get to where we are.
I mean, your Man City game was an amazing game.
It was. And, the fact that we've got a couple of strikers that have stepped up to the plate for Kane. Son, obviously, he was suspended in the last game. And then that Lucas Moura, I think, is a great player.
Yeah, he hasn't done much since he scored that hat-trick, though, has he?
No, but he still looks a threat. And yeah, I for what we've had, I'm very proud of them. Very proud of them.
Yeah.
Very proud. I'm very proud of you boys.
Very proud. So the other thing that major happened was a Spider-Man Far From Home trailer.
I know. And with the big spoilers on the front.
Which I thought was good.
It's a very clever way of doing it. Because there was all sorts of rumours when we had the first trailer of where it was going to link. So they were talking that it would link to the beginning of Infinity War when he was on the bus coming back from his European trip and all sorts of things like that. It's nice. It was nice that it is a follow-on. So what did you think?
I thought it was really, really good. Shall we watch it?
Yeah, we can watch it.
Should we put it on?
Let's do it.
The Spider-Man Far From Home trailer is about to play, but if you haven't seen Avengers Endgame yet, stop watching because there's some serious spoilers about to come up. But if you have seen Avengers Endgame...
Tom Holland.
I always want to say Hollander, and that's the guy from...
Yeah, and Tom Holland directed Fright Night.
Oh, did he?
Just really miss him.
So obviously, we're...
I don't think Tony would have done what he did if he didn't know that you were going to be here after he was done.
I love Favreau.
I do as well.
Yeah, there's something about him that he's a great actor.
You gonna be the next Iron Man?
The only thing I found really strange is his suit. There, I'm not a big fan of that suit.
I am going on vacation.
It's too shiny.
Yeah, but that's his
Iron Man.
nano suit, isn't it? Iron Spider.
I don't really want to talk to Nick Fury. Why?
Because if you don't talk to him, then I have to talk to him. I don't want to talk to him. You sent Nick Fury to voicemail?
I gotta go.
You do not ghost Nick Fury.
Some lovely humour in it, isn't there? Some lovely humour.
About the trip.
I'm here in St. Marco Polo.
I think MJ really likes me. Reminds me when I first fell in love.
You're a very difficult person to contact, Spider-Man. This is Mr. Beck.
We could have used someone like you on my world.
Your world?
Beck is from Earth, just not ours. The snap tore a hole in our dimension.
Now that's Mysterio, isn't it? Who is a bad
We have a
guy.
job to do.
Yeah, I'll say something about him in a minute.
I had to look in my Marvel encyclopedia to work out.
What about Thor?
Off-world.
Captain Marvel. Unavailable. But I'm just a friendly neighborhood Spider-Man.
Now, what's the big creature? Is that Sandman? It's not. Who's the?
What do you want?
I don't know.
You see, I can't work out who the big
on my trip with the girl who
baddie is in
tell her
that.
how I feel. MJ, I
am Spider-Man.
No, of course I'm not.
I mean, it's kind of obvious.
You're right, you may not be ready, but this is my responsibility. Saving the world requires sacrifice. Sometimes people die.
Oh my God. I just always feel like I'm putting my friends in danger. The world needs the next Iron Man.
You going to step up or not?
I love that they use the original music, isn't it? It's really good.
Gotta get you guys out of here. Get on the jet. Who are you? I work with Spider-Man.
You work for Spider-Man?
I work with Spider-Man, not for Spider-Man. New plan.
Great stuff.
Yeah. So you were going to say about Mysterio?
Right, well, I watched the Kevin Smith reaction.
Okay.
And he was saying that, because I don't know anything about Mysterio, and he knows a lot about Mysterio because he wrote for him in one of the comics.
Yep, right.
Wrote the character. And he was saying that Mysterio is, I can't remember, something Beck. I can't remember what his first name is. But he's a liar.
That's
and
it.
That's the thing.
Manipulator, it says in my encyclopedia.
He's saying what Kevin Smith was saying, that his theory is, because the whole thing about the multiverse obviously opens up so many new worlds and so many new strands, and in theory then it means you could see Iron Man again, because in one of the other Earths, Iron Man is going to be there, and all the people that died in Thanos will be there, and all these other people. But he was saying that he thinks that Mysterio is lying about a multiverse and is just doing what he can. And then I thought to myself, God, that's going to be like, I can't ever remember his name, but in Incredibles, you know, the baddie in the Incredibles.
Yeah.
The fact that he created bad monsters and bad villains so that he could be the hero.
Yeah.
And maybe that's what he's trying to do. Maybe the fact that the Avengers have now, have sort of gone, if you like, or some of them have gone, he's creating baddies that to show that he's a superhero and he doesn't need anybody other superheroes.
It's a good theory.
It's
a good theory.
It's a good theory, but then it'd be very much like The Incredibles is the thing I'm thinking.
It's not a bad thing.
No, but it's a great trailer, because if it is true that the snap, ripped something in the time or
if the multiverse comes in, which is another, quite possibly could. They don't necessarily have to bring everybody back, even though it's open. It could be alluded to throughout the new Marvel phase, whatever it'll be.
Phase 4
isn't it?
Yeah.
I've read rumour that it's supposed to be Galactus, isn't it? The main baddie.
But because the other thing was they were saying that, like, because the snap created this massive surge of power, that's what creates the X-Men and the Fantastic Four.
Right.
Is this, whatever happens, there's this anomaly, or people are doing tests, all of a sudden this massive surge of power happens, and that's what creates the X-Men.
That'd be a good idea, wouldn't it?
So all of a sudden that's what creates mutants.
Because I really want Marvel to get their hands on the Fantastic Four.
Well, they've got them.
Yeah,
it's just
but
it's
how
they do it. It's not whether they will, it's just when and how.
I'm looking forward to a good Fantastic Four movie.
Yeah, I mean, it wouldn't surprise me if there's some kind of tease at the end of
there's going to be, isn't there?
For something like the Fantastic Four or X-Men.
Yeah.
But then the X-Men have still got, obviously, Dark Phoenix, so that hasn't finished yet.
And that's why I'm wondering whether they're a step back, whereas the Fantastic Four is just waiting to be brought back.
What better phase to start the Fantastic Four than Phase 4?
Exactly. Oh, wow, I didn't even think of that. But yeah, I was given for Christmas a Marvel encyclopedia, which has every character from Marvel, and you can just all A to Z. and you can look it up. And so I had to look Mysterio up, and apparently, he's a fraud.
Right.
He tricks people into believing one thing when it's another. He's very much into
that. So what he says in that trailer, I think you just have to take with a
so he's obviously pulled the wool over Nick. Well, not necessarily, but Nick Fury's eyes. And, but then Nick Fury might be in on it and just dragged him in because he knows what he's up to. You never know.
Maybe, but it's. I think it's obvious that he has some kind of talent for technology or whatever it is. If he can fly and he's got this suit that can...
Well, his fishbowl helmet was really good. The fact that he looks like he did on the comics.
Yeah.
Is super.
And it doesn't look particularly... It doesn't look stupid. That's the thing. You've got to be careful with some of these...
Yeah, because he was always running around with a fishbowl, well, as far as I can tell, in the comics. Leads us nicely on. We did have a response this week for another question for us from our friend Stu at the World of Stu.
Hi, Stu.
He just said to us, what upcoming movies that aren't Marvel or Star Wars are you looking forward to, and which are you going to give a wide berth to?
Right. Okay. Let's have a look. I'm going to see if I can get up
the blockbusters movies, of 2019. Yeah. I've got one coming soon that I'm looking forward to. John Wick 3.
Yeah, the trailer for that looks good.
But I think both movies have been awesome. Absolutely awesome.
They've been really good, yeah.
And if they can keep that continuing for the final of the trilogy, oh, dear, man.
So what did he say? So it can't be...
Marvel or Star Wars.
Marvel or Star Wars, right. So I can't say Spider-Man.
No.
Okay, so let's have a look. Well, The Lion King...
I'm not really looking forward to it. I'm really apprehensive about it.
I think out of all of the Disney remakes that they've done, The Lion King is the one that I'm going to look forward to. I don't think it's going to...
When we talked about it the other week, and we said, how can they call it a live action, and so on, and all that conversation. I've heard that conversation all over the place now, on the radio, to the stars of it. Seth Rogen doing the rounds for the long shot has been asked it loads.
Yeah. I think the only thing is, it's like, I don't think that Chiwetel Ejiofor is going to be able to do what Jeremy Irons did with Scar.
Well, we'll have to.
I don't think so.
He's a great actor.
We were watching the original Lion King over the weekend, and it's just the way that.
But Jeremy Irons has got an iconic voice, hasn't he?
Yeah.
But he may be able to. He may.
You never know.
James Earl Jones is back in it.
He is. Toy Story 4.
Yeah,
I've not been bowled over with the trailers of that so far.
But as long as it's, I will go and see it. It's not excited on my list, if you know what I mean.
Right. Okay. Frozen 2.
Nah.
I'm not really interested in that one. Secret Life of Pets 2.
I thought that was already out.
No. Well, it might well have been. May 24th, so it's coming out soon. But see, the Secret Life of Pets, the trailer made it look like it was sort of like Toy Story with pets.
Yeah.
And it didn't seem to be anything like that at all.
Right.
And
I haven't watched it.
I watched a bit of it. I didn't watch.
Animation I did watch that everybody said was really good, and I did enjoy it. Sing.
Oh, right. Okay.
Have you seen that?
I have seen it, yeah.
I quite enjoyed it. I didn't know what I was in for, but I quite enjoyed it.
Again, I'm starting to get the same with tropes for horror films that piss me off and make me not want to watch them. The trope of an animated film where at the end they start having a dance number.
Oh, yeah.
Every single fucking animated film.
Well, it started with Shrek, didn't it? And they were a lot of fun where they did the sing-alongs at the end.
But I think, I don't mind Despicable Me, but I think every Despicable Me has a dance number at the end. That Hotel Transylvania, I think everyone has a fucking dance number.
I haven't watched
And I know these aren't really made for me. They're for kids and stuff.
They want you to get up and dance.
But it just... right. Fast and Furious presents Hobbs and Shaw.
Nah. That just looks stupid.
It does look stupid. It looks like it could be lots of fun.
It probably will be a lot of fun, but it's not one that I'm really looking forward to. There is a film that I know straight away, but that is this year, The Irishman. I'm really looking forward to.
That's going to be on Netflix,
but it's coming out of the cinema for a couple of weeks first before it drops on Netflix.
Okay. Pokemon Detective Pikachu.
I don't know anything about Pokemon.
I'm not a Pokemon, so I think that's not going to be for me. Aladdin, which I'm
not bowled over. I'll probably end up watching it, but I'm not excited by
the trailer looked better on the big screen.
Yeah.
When I saw Avengers than it did but anything that I've seen, but I'm still worried about that one. Untitled Jumanji, Welcome to the Jungle.
That's the second sequel. Jumanji, yeah.
So
I haven't seen the first one yet.
Haven't you?
No,
actually, It's quite
It's
good.
had really good write-ups, hasn't it?
Yeah. It Chapter 2.
Oh, yes, I am looking forward to that.
Which the trailer's supposed to be coming out next week, I think.
It is, isn't it? So Drop One Can starts, isn't it? They've got some exclusive footage to show. So there you go.
Okay.
That'd be why.
Godzilla, King of the Monsters.
No, looks awful.
I've said to you before, I've seen the trailers for that, and I still don't know what the movie is supposed to be about.
Yeah, and what's going on.
Yeah.
But yeah, I saw it. They showed a trailer of that before I watched Endgame.
Oh, really?
And even on the big screen, both me and my son looked at each other and went, "What? What's going on?"
Right.
You know, and I quite like the first Godzilla. I'm a bit of a defender of the first Godzilla, because most people slag it off and said it's awful, but I quite like it.
It wasn't that. I think it was that thing that they did, like, not just once but 3 or 4 times, where you were just about to see Godzilla and they cut to something
away,
else.
Yeah.
And I got pissed off with that. I really did. Joker.
Yes, that does look very good, doesn't it? That's an exciting one.
Yeah.
That really does
sure.
look good. I think the trailer really knocked me out, actually, because it was a lot darker than I was expecting it to be.
Right, okay. Men in Black International. I have to say the trailers have looked awful for that.
It seems like a pointless film.
And it doesn't... Every trailer, even if it's a bad movie, has something in it that make you go, I could see it for that. That bit of special effects, that setup, that set piece.
Nothing in that, is there?
Nothing in that. I think the comedy works.
No.
The storyline is something that you've seen before. It just didn't do it for me. Once Upon a Time in Hollywood.
Oh, yeah,
Tarantino.
Yes, that's high on my list.
So that looks like that could
be...
But
again, that's at the Cannes Film Festival, isn't it?
What is it?
They're saying he's rushing out a cut of that for...
Right.
Because you can show films at the Cannes Film Festival that aren't finished.
Oh, right.
And he's gonna screen that, apparently.
So did you see what he's done for the Grateful Eight? Grateful Eight?
The Hateful Eight. Grateful. Isn't that a band? The Grateful Dead.
The Grateful Dead.
Yeah.
The Hateful Eight.
No.
That he's done, there's a... Because what was it? 3 hours and...
Just about 3 hours, 10 minutes.
Yeah, so there's a 3 hour, 40-minute version.
Oh, right.
With like half an hour of extra footage. So he's broken it down into 8 parts.
Oh, okay.
So it's like a mini-series. So he's done the cuts and everything so that instead of it being one long thing, it is like 8 40-minute episodes.
Oh, I'd be interested in watching it like that.
Yeah. So I love that film. Because you didn't like it when it first came out,
When I first came... No, it wasn't I didn't like it. I felt the length of it in the cinema. I really did. And when I watched it a second time, I enjoyed it more, but I could still see like 20-30 minutes being cut out of it. And now I'm saying that he's adding more in, but he's making it in bite-sized chunks.
Yeah.
I think I'm intrigued again. I love Tarantino.
do.
He's never made a bad movie.
No.
Has he?
I don't think so.
Even this 4 room segment was good.
Yeah, it's a weird movie.
What, 4 rooms?
4 rooms.
I haven't seen it in a long time.
Yeah, and I've only seen it once.
Tim Roth, isn't it?
Yeah. But it's Bruce Willis is in his bit, isn't
it's
it?
the finger, isn't it?
The finger, yeah.
And then there was Robert Rodriguez had the dead body in the room.
Yeah, I honestly can't remember.
And then there was I can't remember who directed it with the 4 witches.
Right.
Madonna, wasn't it?
Yeah. I think we've given ourselves too much time. Oh, God, making me yawn. Okay, Dark Phoenix.
Intrigued, but I'm actually a little bit bored of this universe of the X-Men now.
Yeah, I'd go along with that. Terminator Dark Fate.
I'll hold judgment till I see a proper trailer.
Until I see a trailer, because I think
it's nice that Linda Hamilton's back. Apparently, James Cameron's there.
Yeah, but James Cameron gave that Genesis back in, didn't he? And is it something that just should only have ever been 2 movies, or at least James Cameron being involved from the start?
I could see it being the 3 movies.
It's been a mess.
Since the 3rd movie, it's been a complete mess. I don't actually mind Salvation that much.
Right.
It's not a great movie by any stretch of the imagination, but it's the most bearable out of the sequels.
Yeah. Okay, so we have John Wick Chapter 3, Parabellum, which we've already spoken
really
about.
Want to see that.
Annabelle Comes Home.
No, that's a horror, isn't it? That's the next Annabelle.
I forget which one.
Well, that'll lead me on to my next question, actually, about movies.
Ford versus Ferrari. This is directed by James Mangold, stars Christian Bale, Matt Damon.
No, nothing about that.
About the cars, I would assume. Ford versus Ferrari.
Yeah.
Gemini Man. Which is the
Smith.
Will Smith. Smith, which looks like it could be interesting. And Cats.
No, that I'm really not interested in that.
Animation.
No, Cats isn't. That's it's the remake of the musical.
I was going to say, well, it says animation, but it's a tribe of cats called the Jellicles. Must decide yearly which one will ascend to the Heaviside layer and come back to a new Jellicle life. Directed by Tom Hooper, stars Idris Elba, Rebel Wilson, Judi Dench, and Ian McKellen.
It's also there's loads of people in that, but no, it's CGI, isn't it?
Right. So it is animation.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Zombieland Double Tap.
That'll be fun. But again, our whole judgment. But it's all the original people back, isn't it?
It is. I hope it isn't one of those ones where you think they should have just left it, because Zombieland is such a good movie.
Well, it's been in the works. They've been talking about it for a long time.
They have.
So fingers crossed.
Yeah. Artemis Fowl.
Oh, I'm not looking forward to it, but I'm not going to mind it because I read the books.
Okay.
I really enjoyed the books.
Spies in Disguise.
Oh, is that that's Dan Aykroyd and Chevy Chase, isn't it?
No, that was Spies Like Us. Digga-digga-doo-doo.
Was that Paul McCartney?
It was Paul McCartney, yeah.
I did the song.
Hey, what do you say? No,
that's right. Who's directed that? Spies Like Us. That was somebody.
It wasn't John Landis, was it?
Oh, it might have been actually. Somebody like that.
If only we had some kind of technical gear that we could look and find things out like that.
I can have a look while we're on.
So, Spies in Disguise. When the world's best spy is turned into a pigeon, he must rely on his nerdy tech officer to save the world. Starring Karen Gillan, Tom Holland, Will Smith, and Ben Mendelsohn.
Makes a great baddie.
Shaft. So I'm assuming this must be a sequel to the Shaft that they did years ago.
Oh, it was John Landis. Well done,
you. There you go, see? John Shaft Jr., a cybersecurity expert with a degree from MIT, enlists his family's help to uncover the truth behind his best friend's untimely death. So Samuel L. Jackson's in that again.
Yeah.
Chaos.
But the original Shaft of Samuel L. Jackson was John Singleton, and sadly,
that's right.
51.
I know. Another one that's gone by a stroke.
In a film that could be in my top films, I don't know where it would be. But
Shaft?
Boys in the Hood.
Boys in the Hood.
I think that's a fucking phenomenal film.
You're so white. The Irishman.
It's just a great story.
The Irishman.
Yeah, there you go.
Stephen Graham is in that.
Yeah, he is. Yeah.
What else we got?
Have you seen the trailer for his new TV series, The Virtues?
No.
Jesus,
I did sit and watch the last episode of Line of Duty.
Why when you haven't watched any of the others?
Because I wasn't feeling very well, and we were just cuddled up on the sofa, and I just thought I'm just going to sit down and sort of probably fall asleep
and have that totally ruined for you.
And it was a lot of talking.
Yeah.
I mean, it was an hour and 25 minutes long, wasn't it? But it was just talk.
But it was invested up to that moment. Everybody was invested, so every word was pivotal to what you'd seen. You know, all these episodes and series before had been building up to this.
Right. I didn't understand it.
So you you can have that in your mind, and then if you ever go back and watch, which I highly recommend watching series 1 at the very least, you're just going to be like, well, I know what happens later on down the road.
Yeah, Long Shot.
That's already out. That's the Seth Rogen one that I just...
it is, yeah.
It's had great reviews, that has, mine.
Rocket Man.
Interested.
Are you gonna look at that one?
I might do. Yeah, I might go and see it. I think Taron Egerton looks really good in that. Really
He does. I mean, it's going to be interesting what they do with it. It's
already a 15, isn't it?
I believe so. It's R in America, so I would assume
it's already a 15, I think, in this country.
So it's going to be. Are they going to?
There's some fantasy elements to it, so
right? But are they going to soften the rough edges?
No,
not.
Elton John apparently has actually said we can't put it all in. He said because obviously
that's what he said. Yeah,
for whatever reason, legal reasons or whatever. He said, but we've got to make it like it is. He said, I nearly died from my drug abuse. So we're not gonna.
I mean, yeah, okay, but what about the homosexuality and stuff like that?
Oh no,
that was a thing that they seemed to skirt over a bit with.
Made it
Bohemian Rhapsody. It was a part of it, but it wasn't a big part of it. If that makes sense.
No, they skirted over it, but apparently not in this. Apparently not.
Okay.
I'd be interested to see. I'm interested to see it. I am.
All right then.
Who directed it?
Dexter Fletcher, who took over from
Bryan Singer.
Bryan Singer for Bohemian Rhapsody.
I think he's actually a good filmmaker because I really enjoyed Eddie the Eagle.
You know what? I still haven't seen that.
Oh really?
Yeah. Considering we're friends with Eddie, I still haven't seen that movie. And I like Taron Egerton. I like Hugh Jackman, obviously. It's weird that I've never got around to seeing it.
What's his name? Matthew Vaughn was involved in it.
That's right. Keith Allen plays his dad, doesn't he?
It's really good.
Yeah, I need to watch that, definitely.
Especially because they've made it into a stage play. And they're doing it at the Everyman. And guess who's starring as himself?
No.
Yeah. Eddie Eagle is starring as himself.
Really?
Yeah.
Fair play to him.
So no, I'm not pointing you at. Eddie the Eagle is going to be on the Everyman stage performing Eddie the Eagle.
Well, fair play to him. That seems to be it.
To
for what
me,
they've got
it'll
as
be
blockbusters.
Tarantino.
Yeah, I honestly,
and Scorsese's new one.
Apart from Star Wars and Spider-Man, there isn't anything that I am actually going to be rushing like first night to go and see.
No, but what will happen is a film will come out that will sneak under and become huge, like it does every year, we know nothing about. One of those small.
I'm not saying that there won't be a movie that I think, I might go and see. I like John Wick. I'd like to go and see that at the cinema. I never saw number 2 at the cinema.
Nor did I. No,
I saw number 1 at the cinema and was really bowled over by just how fresh it felt.
Yeah.
It felt like it was. And I've said this before. I love Keanu Reeves when he's not talking much in movies.
No.
If he's got a lot to say or he's got a lot to emote, he's fucked.
I've got a lot of time for Keanu Reeves.
I have.
When you see him interviewed, he's always having a good time.
Yeah.
And everybody that's ever interviewed him have said that he's fantastic fun and, a brilliant guest.
I've always liked, because there's videos of him like on a tube.
Oh yeah,
and he's just sat there, and he like gets up and lets somebody sit in his seat, and he just he's riding a tube, and it's Keanu Reeves.
But I think he's a bit of a chameleon like that, because you can't. He's like older than Brad Pitt, apparently. Brad Pitt. He's older than Brad Pitt, apparently. So he's nearly 60.
Yeah, it's crazy, isn't it?
And he looks.
To be honest, it's crazy that like Brad Pitt must be nearly 60. Although, you look at him and you can see it around his eyes.
Yeah, Brad Pitt's actually looking older. Look at Keanu Reeves, man.
Yeah, although saying that, I saw that video when him and Alex Winter was announcing Bill and Ted 3. And he did look a little bit sort of frayed around the edges.
But not 50. I would say he was still in his 40s.
Yeah.
He looks, and he's in phenomenal shape.
Yeah. Yeah, he's one of the good ones.
He is. He's a talent in that sense.
Yeah.
I
think you could say the same about Robert Downey Jr.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously, making 50 million a movie can keep you looking good as well, because you haven't really got to do anything.
But he hasn't really done anything else, has he?
Well, since The Judge, was it?
That must have been about 3 or 4 years ago.
That was longer than that.
Was it?
Oh my God.
That was longer than that.
That was longer than that. Now I'm going to have to use some kind of...
I didn't even bother watching it because I'd read awful things about it.
Judge. It was supposed to be like a run at getting an Oscar, wasn't it?
Yeah, and it got very...
So what year did you say?
Let's say 2014.
Boom, 2014. You said 3 or 4 years. See, that's 5 years.
See, now I suddenly twigged that we were 19, aren't we?
Yeah, so... But since 2014, he's done nothing but play Tony Stark.
What's an easy
And to be honest, he's been nothing but being Tony Stark for 5 years. So it's going to be weird.
And then we got Dr. Dolittle coming with him in.
Yeah, which that sounds like that's having a few production problems and stuff like that. But,
which leads me on to my quick question for you.
Go on then.
I was asked the other day, I'm a fan of horror. Now, it's not a genre you're a big fan of, but you don't mind it.
There's certain films that I like about it, yeah.
Which horror film have you watched that's actually genuinely scared you? And I'm not talking about when you were young. I will talk about when you were like, let's say 18 and onwards, when you were an adult.
Yeah, I honestly don't, because the Omen was when I was young. Was what used to scare me.
Does that still give you chills now when it comes on?
It does sometimes, but it's more. It wasn't when I used to watch it. It was the whole concept of Revelations.
Yeah,
that it was because I thought that they'd made this story up, and then they looked in the Bible and they found that story was in the Bible.
Oh,
so they went, "Oh shit! What we've just made up is actually in the Bible." And when you're young, you think the Bible is actually a true document.
Well,
it's
we
not
were taught
just,
it, weren't we, at school?
Exactly.
Let's be honest.
So I can remember, and this is like plain as day. One of the things I can't remember much in my childhood that used to scare me, apart from the final credits of like Star Trek, where they'd have like starring so and so. They'd have one picture of like this pale skinned man with his mouth open like that used to frighten the shit out of me.
Oh, really?
Used to really, really get to me. But anyway, I was reading the Bible and reading about the Book of Revelations, about the number of the beast who will come and blah blah blah, while my mum and dad were listening to or watching the movie downstairs, so you could hear them. Oh
right.
While I'm reading the Bible.
Oh shit!
And I swear I'm probably, this is like urban legend, or it's not like I've added facts, but a book fell off my shelf or something at the time, and it frightened the shit out of me. And I think I started crying, and my mum and dad, or dad, one of them came upstairs and asked what it was, and I was an absolute mess.
Okay, so has there been a film as an adult?
I was 25.
Yeah. So has there been a film as an adult?
I can't think of any movies as an adult
that's given you the creeps. I'm not talking about scared you senseless, because that doesn't even happen to me.
I honestly can't think of any movies
where you thought, fuck, that's a bit creepy. Because I would
probably say the only one that has really got under my skin was the Blair Witch Project.
Right.
And that was because that was one of the first movies that I watched with surround sound.
Okay, yeah.
So spoilers if you haven't seen it, but when I think it's the cameraman goes missing.
Yeah, and they're in the tent.
And he's shouting. That was coming from behind me, and I remember opening the window. It's at night time I was watching it, but opening the window to the living room, thinking, who the fuck is that outside shouting? Because they're just going, hey, and the girl's wondering who the hell that is. I had to, and that was the one thing that I think that's the one time.
And the ending.
And then the ending, because it was just a,
what the fuck?
Yeah. And the way that it just cuts and is very abrupt, and you see the kid stood in the corner. Yeah, I can't think of any others, because there's so many tropes in movies. It just turns me off straight away.
I mean, I don't find jump scares scary. They make me jump, as they would with anyone.
You may jump,
but I don't find them scary per se. I find them just annoying now.
Yeah.
I like a good psychological horror, and I watch quite a lot of horror. So I have a routine to watch my horrors. People think I'm crazy. So I settle down, whatever time, usually, because obviously at work, so usually at night if I'm going to watch one. I make sure the room's nice and dark. I put a candle on. I always have a candle on at night. Do you like a candle? Do you like a candle? You got one there, you fucker.
No, that's because you keep farting and you got to put something nice and
No, I like a candle burning. I don't like...
It's the way that I get a candle.
Yeah, and I like that.
I put it all nice and the lights
This
are
is
nice.
my routine for watching a big movie. I've invested myself in my small little place in a massive telly, so it's like a cinema. It should be. I sit on the sofa with whatever snacks and drinks, and that's how I go for it. And people think I'm crazy to watch a horror film, and it doesn't usually bother me. But years back when it was released, the film Martyrs.
Oh, yeah.
I did all that, I sat down, and I'm starting to watch it. About halfway through, I thought, no, I'm going to have to put the lamp on. I'm starting to feel a little bit uncomfortable. Now, I don't know whether I was scared, but the word uncomfortable in that film.
Yeah, I don't think... For me, that isn't a horror film. That is a movie that
it certainly has horror moments.
Oh yeah. And it's unsettling. Plus, then there's also that oh my god moment.
Yeah.
And again, I don't want to spoil it for anybody that hasn't seen it.
Don't spoil.
But I do, because you told me that you have to see that film, and I think you built it up so much that I sort of go, no, I'll see it when I want to see it. The same as Oldboy.
Yeah.
Now, Oldboy, I've said to you before, I don't think I've said on a podcast before, is the movie. It's not a horror film, so I wasn't scared, but that is the only movie that, with a particular twist in it, made me physically get up out of my seat and put my hand over my mouth. I've never had that happen before.
It's a fucking awesome film.
I have never, and for a movie that is Korean, is it Korean?
So both of these versions, so Martyrs is French, and then it's South Korean.
Right.
They've remade.
Yeah.
So if you're listening to this and think, I'm going to watch those two films,
watch the originals.
Watch the originals. Do not watch Martyrs,
because
the American
that's what I couldn't
one.
understand about the Spike Lee did the remake, didn't he?
They ruined the twist in the trailer.
In the trailer.
Yeah.
And I couldn't believe, when I watched that, I literally did the same thing. I got up out of my seat and put my hand over my mouth in shock because they did the unbelievable. I could not believe that.
Apparently Spike Lee went mental about it because he didn't cut the trailer.
It just didn't make any sense. Right, I've got something else that I wanted to say to you about. I don't know whether you've seen this. Have you seen this Avengers, the cast of Avengers, but cast if it was in the 90s?
Yes, with Eddie Murphy as
so I was going to go through some of these, see if you can remember who they were.
Okay.
Because I think a couple of them, they could change round, I reckon. So Captain America, who did they have for Captain America?
Was it Brad Pitt?
It was. Well done.
I think that's a good shout, actually.
I think that is a good shout. Winter Soldier. This will be more for our American friends. I think he's more well known in the American.
I can't remember who.
John Stamos.
Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah, John.
Falcon.
That's not Eddie Murphy.
That was Eddie Murphy. That was Eddie Murphy.
I said War Machine, didn't I?
Yeah. So Scarlet Witch
would have been Julia Roberts.
No, that was Alicia Silverstone.
Oh yeah.
See, now I would have had Nicole Kidman for that.
Yeah. Yeah.
For Scarlet Witch, I think she'd have brought a bit more gravitas.
Yeah. No. Yeah.
Hawkeye.
I can't remember who they put.
Was Christian Slater.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Ant-Man.
Oh, I'm really racking my brains now.
I'll go through it.
Tom Cruise was Iron Man.
Tom Cruise was Iron Man. So Ant-Man was Matthew Broderick.
Okay.
Spider-Man, Leonardo DiCaprio.
Okay.
Which I can see that. As a younger Black Widow, Mila Jovovich, which I think is good. I don't think she can act for toffee.
She can't, but then that's a role that could keep her quiet.
But then saying that, the very first... I thought the first time she ever did a movie was Fifth Element.
No,
I didn't realise she was like dazed and confused.
She did her first movie, wasn't it? Was the Return to the Blue Lagoon.
Was it? With that Chris kiddie?
Yeah.
Unbelievable. But that scene in the Fifth Element where she's eating the chicken and seeing like the history of the world and she's crying, I thought, wow, what an actress. Then you see her in like Resident Evil and you think, oh my God, she's awful. Anyway, but she looks amazing.
Yeah, she's all right.
Black Panther.
Not Eddie Murphy. Who's that going to be? Sam? I don't know.
Denzel.
Yeah. Okay.
Vision was Ethan Hawke.
Yeah.
War Machine, Cuba Gooding Jr.
Okay, show me the
money. Show me the money. Thor, Dolph Lundgren. I think so.
That's just the cartoony sort of version, isn't it?
No, I think so. But you got to think of it being made in the 90s.
Okay, I'll give it that. That's more 80s for me, though, Dolph Lundgren.
You think?
Yeah.
All right, Hulk, David Duchovny.
Yeah,
which I can see that. Yeah. Doctor Strange, Keanu Reeves. See, look-wise, yes.
Yeah,
acting-wise,
no.
I couldn't imagine him as this guy that knows a lot of stuff.
No.
But I couldn't think of anybody that's Doctor Strange.
Steve Buscemi.
Oh, no.
In the 90s.
No.
No, you don't think of him now.
No, but even in the 90s, you imagine, like, the guy that he plays in... What's that?
When he's doing his circles. Steve Buscemi doing this. I just got that in my head.
He'd be doing this again. What is the smallest violin playing for the... I couldn't imagine him as Doctor Strange. Nick Fury.
Harvey Keitel.
John Goodman, did you say? A 90s John Goodman. He'd have to do extra large portals just to get himself
What's wrong
in.
with that?
Nothing.
Let's not be sizist.
I can say that. I can say that. Nick Fury was Keith David.
Okay.
Low-key
Again, more 80s than 90s to me.
Yeah.
I think
Low-key Gary Oldman, I think, is a good shout.
That's a great shout.
Thanos Ron Perlman, very good. Very good. Star-Lord Brendan Fraser.
Possibly a young one.
But there's got to be he's
an actor that vanished almost without a trace, isn't he?
See, now if you're looking 90s, 80s, no, maybe 80s, Bruce Willis.
Yeah.
If it was 80s.
Yeah.
I think he'd be a perfect Star-Lord.
Yeah.
Gamora, Halle Berry.
Yeah.
Which I think is about right.
Yeah.
Nebula, Demi Moore.
Yeah.
Yeah. Rocket Raccoon is Joe Pesci. I think that's good.
That is a good shout.
Just for the
You
voice.
got to let him have his swearing as well.
Hey,
motherfucker!
Yeah, fuck you at the drive-through. Fuck you at the drive-through.
Great Lethal Weapon.
Okay. Drax, Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Too obvious.
You think?
Yeah.
Well, who else would you have? Who's a 90s action star more than
Stallone?
No, he's not big enough to be Drax.
Really?
Yes.
He was well buff in the early 90s.
You looked him up against someone like Dolph Lundgren.
Yeah, Dolph Lundgren, I don't know. I'm not even that happy about him being Thor.
No, I think those two are perfect.
Okay.
I do. And Mantis Winona Ryder.
Yeah, I can see that.
I can see that. I think that's really good. I think we should think up an 80s one.
Oh.
I think that could be interesting.
Yeah, we'll have a go for that. That's a challenge on for Fresh. We'll do it next week.
Fresh.
Yeah.
Oh, we'll have to get the names of the characters and then put them up. I'm assuming that no one's done an 80s one. We'll have to have a look. Hang on.
But Tom Cruise will be back in there still.
Well, yeah, but some of
them would still. Oh, who have they got?
Oh, here we go. The cast, if it was made in the 80s, so they've got.
Chevy Chase would be there, surely. He'd be Doctor Strange.
So they got Iron Man.
Who's that?
That's Burt Reynolds.
Oh, was it? I was thinking Eddie Murphy.
Iron Man, Burt Reynolds.
Okay.
Maybe slightly old.
He's a bit too old, even in the 80s.
Captain America, Charlie Sheen.
Yeah, I could see that.
Yeah?
Yeah, young Charlie Sheen. Think about him from his Platoon days.
Right, Thor, Dolph Lundgren again.
There you see, that's better.
Bruce Banner, the Hulk, Bill Bixby, Lou Ferrigno. They just carry on.
Well, fuck you doing that. That's lazy.
That is lazy.
Who would be Bruce Banner in the 80s? It's got to be some Richard Dreyfuss.
Bill Murray.
A young Bill Murray, I think.
Well,
he'd be something, but Richard Dreyfuss would be he's like a sciencey type of guy.
Okay.
He does rage very well.
Okay, but can you imagine a Hulk version of Richard Dreyfuss?
Yeah, but you got to think how he was in the 80s, okay? What about Bob?
What about Bob?
Wasn't he in that?
Sorry.
Was he in What About Bob?
I was thinking Bob who?
He was
Bob Hope.
That was with Bill Murray, wasn't it?
That was. Nick Fury, Billy D. Williams.
This is lazy.
Well, no, what's wrong with that?
I don't know.
What do we have here?
See, I would say Keith David for that.
Okay.
Because he was more of an 80s man than 90s.
Black Widow, Sharon Stone. Yeah.
She's more 90s than 80s, though.
No.
She didn't become famous really until Total Recall, and that was 1990.
Hawkeye, Kevin Costner. Kevin Costner could be a lot better than
He would be
Hawkeye.
Tony Stark.
Not a young... No, he's not
He'd
Tony
be a big
Stark.
hero, though. But
he wouldn't be Tony Stark.
Mind you, he could be a better Cap.
Yeah, he could be a better Cap. Vision, Matthew Modine.
Yeah, I can see that one.
I think that's all they've got. I mean, we could go on with our.
Well, we'll do that again. We'll have to give it a bit more thought.
We'll go for our own on that one, I think. Yeah, there was something else. Oh yeah. Well, we've gone over an hour.
Oh,
so
fuck it.
Yeah, it's all right. Festivals. Now we're involved in a few festivals. I was going to give some shout outs to the festivals that
we are
involved in. So just to let everybody know, as we're recording this, so they'll be going out this week, obviously, May 19th, we're going to be at the Mini Phoenix Festival in Cirencester.
Having some fun and dancing.
Having some fun. So it's a free place to go. It's at St Michael's Field, St
Some
Michael's
great music.
Road.
Do you know who's playing?
I don't yet. No, we've got a meeting so that we can go to find that out. Okay. But we're going to be there. There's going to be lots of stuff for the kids to do. Free entry. I think there's going to be obviously food and all bits and pieces like that going on.
And a bar?
Good question. Probably.
There usually is. There was last year, wasn't there? So.
The Minty Festival, the Minty Music Festival, which is July 3rd, 4th and 5th.
Yep. We'll be there on the 4th and 5th.
We'll be there. You can get your tickets from www.mintyfestival.co.uk. There's going to be loads of stuff. I think 60 bands on 3 stages.
That's a lot, isn't it?
And we're going to be there for that. So that's going to be great. And then obviously the Phoenix Festival, that'll bank holiday August weekend.
Yes.
Which is going to be fantastic as well.
Well, we had a year off last year. We had a little break.
We did.
Because we've done every Phoenix since it started.
We did.
Be nice to be back. We got our own little stage.
We got our own little podcast stage, which is going to be fun. Now, the question I wanted to ask about that is, you know what my feelings are about like going to live music. You're a lot more of a festival goer than I am.
I love live music. I actually get a buzz. From
I enjoy the process of listening to the live music. It's all the fucking faff getting there and
Standing.
the faff. And the faff.
It's our headphones, don't worry.
It is the headphones, right? God, yeah, our headphones just cut out. And then it's the faff of getting home. If somebody could just, remember Clash of the Titans, the original, with Laurence Olivier?
Yeah, Harry Hamlin.
And he picked Harry Hamlin up when he'd fallen down with a little chess piece. If they could do that for us, perfect. Take me from where I am at home, pop me in to see the gig, pick me up and take me home. I would love that.
But some of it to me is like the joy of chatting to the people around you. So once so at the beginning of the gig, quite often I quite like to get as near to the front sometimes as I can.
In the mosh pit?
No, not in the mosh pit. I'm gone of the mosh days. But
have you done the mosh pit though?
Oh, many years ago, not through choice. But you always get a twat in the head from something.
You like that though, don't you?
Not always. But I go and see a very eclectic, different type. So I'll go to very heavy metal music, and then I'll go and see a bit of classical. So I go. My live music differs. But the fact that you're stood there and you're talking to people from all around the country, and I've had such laughs without ever knowing the people that we're chatting to. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Had a lot of fun, and then afterwards you got the same sort of thing as when you've seen a great movie and you all come out and you're chatting about it. And I never try and rush off home. I just sit in the car and let everybody go. People say, you're mad. You're there an hour. And I said, yeah, I can have a piss. I can chill.
That's the thing. It's like when we went and saw Robbie at Milton Keynes Bowl.
Oh, I hate that venue, though.
I think we were in the car for 2.5 hours just waiting to get out because it was just a nightmare to get out.
Yeah, I went to see the Foo Fighters. They're exactly the same. They had all the stewards guiding you in and then nobody there when everybody left.
Yeah.
And you think there's 60,000 people leaving. Yeah, we sat in that field, same as you, 2.5, 3 hours.
Or Oasis at Nebworth, which I said to you.
You were on a bus before.
It was a bus, but the bus was right in the middle of all the other buses, so they just said, "Oh, get on, we'll move when we can." So we fell asleep. I think we got to the bus at like 10:30. Fell asleep for 3 hours. I think it was about 1:30, 2 o'clock. Woke up and we still hadn't moved. And then we had to stop off at Reading, I think. I think we got home at 6 o'clock, and that was when I famously needed a crap.
Oh, right.
So grabbed an evening advertiser and just crapped somewhere behind the wall because none of the toilets were open. It was like 6, 6:30. We were waiting for my missus to come and pick us up. And when you got to go, you got to go.
You got to go.
You've got to go. And I was.
But I love live music. I love concerts. I get a genuine buzz when a band that you love first walk out on that stage. I still get that buzz.
Yeah,
where you're like, ooh, going to listen to some great music. I haven't got many gigs this year. I'm going to see the Eels again.
Right.
So I always go and see them when they tour, and that's it. So
what's your favourite gig you've ever been to?
Pink Floyd.
Really?
Yeah, 1988, Wembley Stadium. Went to both nights they played. First night we were right at the back because I'd been to work. I was only 16. I only just started my job. And the guy was 18. He was driving. And he said, well, as soon as we finish work, we'll go. And I said, yeah, come on then. And off we went. We got there a bit late. The music hadn't started, but we were a little bit late. And we were so far back. So the next day we said, look, we're seeing it again. And we were right, sort of, I would say, sort of a quarter of the way back.
So did you stay there, or did you?
Yeah, we were staying in London.
Right.
Yeah, we stayed at a friend of his house. Slept on the floor, which we did a few times. Did it at Birmingham as well. Went to a friend of his, student. Never been so fucking cold in my life. I had to sleep on the floor in a sleeping bag. It's the worst I've ever been.
Really?
Cold. Because he was obviously a poor student, like the young ones. Had no carpet. I was on a wooden floor, man. The sofa was taken. So fucking cold.
And what was that to go and see?
David Lee Roth.
And was that worth it?
He was fantastic. Yeah. Fantastic. Yeah, I've been to a lot of gigs. I've been to see a lot of famous people. I saw Guns N' Roses before they were famous.
Did you?
At the Marquee Club, literally holds about 300 people. Saw them there. Didn't know who they were, but the same guy said, look, I've heard about this band coming over from LA. Let's go see them. I can get you in. I was only like 15 or whatever.
Really?
He said, I can get you in because I'm 18. It's fine. You have to be accompanied by an adult. Stood in there, didn't know what to expect, what they were. Had no clue. And then these glam boys in Lycra came on with massive hair dancing, and Axl Rose did dance around the stage, and I was thinking, what the fuck? But once the music started, it was like, okay, we're into a different level now.
Yeah,
been to a lot of gigs. Have you been to a lot of gigs?
I've been to a few. I haven't been to loads and loads, but
I usually go a few times a year.
Yeah.
It's a genuine thing that I try and make an effort and go. But this
I
year,
tend to go to like the big tentpole ones. So I think the last gig,
you went to Bruno Mars last, wasn't it?
it was Bruno Mars and Adele in the same year.
Yeah, see,
So I
that's
think
big gigs.
Adele was the last one I went to.
Yeah,
And that was lucky because that was the last one that she did.
it was.
Because she
You were.
cancelled the other ones right after.
Yeah.
So that was lucky. And you could see how much she was struggling. But I was a mess that night. I mean, apart from the fact that I pissed our missus off because I called you.
Oh yeah,
Because you were doing the radio show
That's
that
right.
night. That was the night you got your knob out.
Well, apparently.
Well, we've got it on tape.
Yeah, you can hear it.
It's there. We can hear it.
You can hear it. Yeah.
Knocking against the microphone. Yeah. So I pissed our missus off at the start of the night because I was
Ringing.
just moved out of the way so I could ring you lot. But what a gig that was. But I'm like I've told you before, my taste in music is not very broad, if you like. I like what I like, and I haven't got a particular favourite thing that I like or a favourite person that I like. I just like music that I like, if that makes sense.
Is there anybody you'd like to see live that you never have?
Springsteen.
Right.
I did see Springsteen at the Amnesty gigs when it was him. Who was it? Peter Gabriel, Sting.
That's right. Fucking hell.
Tracy Chapman.
Shit.
Yeah, that was 88 at Wembley.
Yeah, you went to that, did you?
We went to that, yeah. And that was the thing. That was the first time I'd ever seen Springsteen. So that would have been Tunnel of Love time.
But that was a condensed set, wasn't it?
Yeah, because he only did. I think everyone did 40 minutes, and he did an hour.
Yeah.
But it was me and our mate at Wembley Stadium.
The old Wembley Stadium as well.
The old Wembley Stadium, and I couldn't understand why, because he was top of the bill, but I couldn't understand why everyone was booing.
Yeah.
But they weren't, because you could hear, as soon as it was coming to time for him, everyone's going boo. And I said to my mate, I said, what? I thought he was the guy that everyone was coming to see. And he went, I don't know. And then when you listen, they're going Bruce.
Yeah.
And of course, because I'd never seen him live before, and I didn't know a lot about his stuff. Obviously, I got into him because it was Born in the USA.
Yeah.
Then it was Tunnel of Love, and Tunnel of Love is such an amazing album. I love that album. There isn't a bad song on that album. And then he did that, was it a 5-album live
That's right.
thing? And I can remember because The River was my favourite song of his. And he talks on that particular live album, he talks about how he never got on with his dad. And how his dad made him cut his hair.
Yeah.
And the fact that he then and he fell out with his dad and never wanted to talk to him again. And his dad particularly sort of didn't talk to him very much. But then he went to go and enroll for Vietnam, and then they wouldn't let him go because of his hearing or something like that.
Right. Yeah.
So he went back and told his dad, and his dad just went good. I'm not going. And his dad just went good. And then the harmonica start of The River, and it is fucking heartbreaking. Oh, just that. We said about Layla was it last week or the week before? When I've seen Clapton about 4 times when he used to do his residencies at the Albert Hall.
Oh, right. Lucky you.
Yeah. And one time we were pissed off because there was me and the band that I was in at the time. Our mate, the guitarist, had got tickets. He said, we can go and see him. He said, it's not seats, but we're right up in the gods where you stand. We went, fucking brilliant. Let's go. So we all went there. We went to that rock circus at Piccadilly.
Oh, yeah. I love that.
We went there during the day, and then we got there, and we got up there. And then the band came out, and I said to my mate, I said, that's not the same band. And then as soon as he started playing, we realised it was the blues night.
Oh, fuck.
So we had like an hour and a half, 2 hours of blues, which is fine.
Yeah.
But once you get into the... It's the same fucking song, basically.
over and over.
Some a little bit fast, some a little bit slow. So, of course, he never did Layla.
Right, yeah.
So I was really fucked off about that. And our mate sort of went, sorry, I fucked up. He said, I didn't see what it was. Because what he used to do was, when he did like 20-odd nights at the Albert Hall,
he varied
it would be some with his 4-piece band.
Yeah.
There'd be some with his, what would it be, 8-9-piece band.
That's right.
Some with the blues, and then some with the orchestra. And it was the orchestra one that I always wanted to go and see, and we never got to go and see that, which was a bit of a shame. But then our old chap managed to get tickets to go and see him at the Birmingham Indoor Arena.
Yeah.
And it was the first tour that Andy Fairweather Lowe was with him.
Okay.
Second row. It was second. We could see the sweat dripping off the back of his neck. Hell. It was, and all I was doing was watching his fingers and watching what he was doing on the guitar. It was
Slow
amazing.
Hand Eric.
Oh, it was amazing. But he used to do this thing with Layla, especially when it was the full band. There'd be this intro, just these 2 chords going da 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 da, and then he'd sort of be playing about, and then he'd turn his back on the crowd, and then it'd just be quiet for like 5 seconds, and you fucking go mental.
Yeah, that's the thing.
Oh my
isn't
god!
it?
And the hairs would stand up at the back of your neck, and that's what live music does.
That's what it does.
That's what it does. And there's those little moments. But going back, Springsteen's one of those ones that you sort of think, I've got to see him before he.
Well, he's just
dies.
Announced a new album and tour. So
has he got a new tour coming?
Yeah.
I don't know whether.
Do it.
Yeah, but did you see the Broadway?
I haven't watched it yet.
It's really, really good.
Yeah,
it is
but
really,
it's like
really
3
good.
hours long, isn't it?
It is, but I'll tell you, it's the weird thing that come out of it was that he's a fucking fraud. Fucking hell, because he goes on about, what all of his music. What's it about? It's about being sort of a worker, isn't it? You're a worker, and you drive your car, and you love your women, and you go to the edge of town.
The real man sort of music.
Yeah, it's like blue collar and white collar and all this sort of stuff, and then he's going, I've never had a job in my life, and all that was bullshit I was talking about. I'm thinking, no, you can't say that.
No, you just ripped the rug straight out of
there's
everybody.
all these people that are saying, Bruce, you understand exactly where I'm coming from, the struggle of the working man and all this stuff. And he's there saying, I got a job and I spent 2 days working there, and I just said, nah, this ain't for me. I'm going to go grab my guitar, and I got a record contract, and never had to work a day in my life. And I'm like, hang on a minute. Your whole fucking thing is that you're for the working man. Yeah. And this is music for the working man, and this is music for a working man's soul that we're going to fight.
And the fact that show won Tonys and that made me... It's really weird.
But it's the way he does it, whereas he doesn't just play
it's storytelling, isn't it?
Yeah, he does. He sort of reads extracts from the book. Obviously, he must have like a teleprompter there, because it looks like it's just coming out the top of his head. And then he'll do a song, whether it's on the guitar or on the piano. Then he'll start talking in the middle of a song. It's fascinating.
I will have to watch it.
It is fascinating.
I will have to watch it.
But yeah, hopefully we'll go and see Brucey.
Yeah.
So we're just getting to the point where I think they would have kicked off by now, Tottenham.
Right.
So let's hope they win. So then
fingers crossed, and we'll talk about it next week and find out what happened. We haven't even talked Game of Thrones this week.
Oh,
we'll save it. There's 2 more episodes to come. We'll still be talking about that.
We will. It's a big episode coming up next week anyway. Yeah. You've got to make sure you've seen that before we talk.
Well, fingers crossed, all going well. I've set the video to record at 2 a.m. in the morning, so I get that version.
Okay.
And I should be late night, like I normally
stop
work.
doing that. It's so camp. That's a little treat for our YouTube.
I have a little teapot with my arm like that.
Little treat for our YouTube.
And so, fingers crossed, Monday morning I should watch it.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's great.
Awesome.
Okay, so if you want to, please come and subscribe to the podcast. That'd be wonderful. Leave us a review on iTunes. That'd be great. Leave us a nice review, please.
Yes,
if you
please.
don't want to leave us a review, that's fine. But if you want to leave us like a 5-star rating and a review,
be awesome.
That'd be great. Follow us on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook at Pavo and Neil.
Yep.
Or if you want to email us with any questions that you have, or if something that you want us to talk about, it's pavoneil@hotmail.com.
Yes, please do get in touch. We'd like to hear from you.
Indeed.
We'd like it.
Indeed. And if there's anything, if you like This Country, which is a BBC comedy show, we do a podcast on that as well. Our YouTube channel, go to YouTube. It's just Pavo and Neil.
And if you're at any of the festivals we've spoken about, please do come and see us.
Yeah, come and say hello. I think
if we've never met you before, it'd be nice to meet you.
I think we can start the theme music, can't we?
Yep.
That'll do, Neil, for another
Come
week.
on, Spurs!
Come on, you Reds.
You've already done it.
Come on, Brighton.
Well done, you.